Okay, now we want to find the points of discontinuity of the integrand, and then from there we want to find the area under the curve. So here's what happens. This has an absolute value. How does the graph of an absolute value look, usually? So where is the point of discontinuity? 0, right. So like if I say the absolute value of x, like f of x equals this, when I go to draw the graph, I'm going to get something that looks like this. And this right here is a cusp or a corner. It's actually a corner, but I always call them cusp for some reason. And so that's the point of discontinuity, and that means it can't be differentiated. And if it can't be differentiated at that point, we'll run into some issues with maybe the area under the curve, possibly, right? Because we're talking about a derivative, but it can't be, you know what I'm saying? So here's what we got to do. First thing you got to do is graph it first. So I'm going to come in here. I've got some old stuff from earlier, and I'm just going to graph x divided by math. Where's the absolute? Is it here? Yeah. And then the absolute value of x. Okay, and I'm just going to graph it. Uh-oh. Let's do a standard zoom and see what happens there. So when x is next, so that's what I got. And they want us to evaluate from negative, so where is the point of discontinuity on this thing? When x equals 0. So what I really need to do is I really need to do it like this. I need to say, let me minimize this and we'll write it down. I want to integrate from negative 7 to 0 of x, right, plus 0 to 9. Does that make sense? Well, I'm going from negative 7 to 9. So now watch what happens. This is going to be kind of cool. So I find that point of discontinuity. Now I'm just going to let the calculator find it for me. Find the area under the curve. What's my lower limit? Well, my first lower limit is negative 7 all the way up to the point of discontinuity, which is 0. So then I'm going to find that area under the curve. What do I get? It's negative 7, right? So this is like negative 7. That's the first one. Now what do I want to do? Go from 0 to 9, right? So I'm going to say, or I'm sorry, second trace 7, and I'm going to go from 0 as my lower limit to 9. Now this one will be a little different. It'll be 9, right? So this one will be 9 plus 9. I got to move my thing out of the way here. Move this out of the way. We'll minimize it. So this right here is negative 7 plus 9. Now it says find the points of discontinuity of and then evaluate it, and use the area to evaluate the integral. So what is the point of discontinuity? 0, and what's the sum of these two numbers? 2. What's the answer?
B, 0, 2.
B. Does that make sense? I think they probably could have done the notation a little different. We know that 0 is the point of discontinuity, right? And that 2 is the actual area under the curve. Okay. Any questions on this one? Does that make sense to you guys? All right, let's do problem number 16.